Chapter 41, Outrageous. Selling books, selling books. Vegetables, fresh vegetables. Anyone in need 10 points per kilogram, very cheap. Starry Night Bar is hiring, from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. The elevator doors slowly opened, and a wave of noisy hawking voices entered the ears. The basement was densely packed with people. Some set up tents, while others laid out straw mats. In the corner across from the wall, a few vendors were energetically shouting, but nobody was paying them any attention. Upon closer observation, each person tightly clutched their backpacks and belongings, wary of others but not appearing overly nervous. Taking in the scene, Jiǎngrán found a vacant corner and sat down, taking out her phone to check the time. It was already mid-June, and in a little while, the extreme heat should subside. At that point, the true horrors of the apocalypse would become evident, and a new round of even more terrifying natural disasters would follow. Thinking this, Jiǎngrán retrieved a box of cold noodles from her backpack and started eating them slowly. The aroma wafted through the air, causing people around her to sniff repeatedly, as if they could be satisfied by just smelling it. Although many people looked envious and hungry, no one approached to cause trouble. This surprised her a little. After finishing the cold noodles, Jiǎngrán leaned against the corner of the wall and quietly started cultivating. During this time, she didn't plan on leaving the safe zone and aimed to advance before the extreme heat ended. Not long after, a few young people approached her. "Hey there, new tenant, right? I'm from the Residential Area Safety Management Committee. Staying in the basement for a long time requires paying a safety management fee." "What?" Jiǎngrán looked at the young man in astonishment. He was wearing a red uniform jacket with sleeves, giving off an appearance of some professionalism, but the reason for the fee was simply outrageous. Jiǎngrán asked, "Is this your rule, or is it a rule of the safe zone?" "They didn't mention this when I rented the place." The young man clearly had encountered this situation before and responded with ease, "It's definitely a rule of the safe zone. Otherwise, why do you think our community is so safe? Haven't you seen what's happening in the basements of other areas? Anything can happen there." Jiǎngrán took a look at the young people and continued asking, "So, as long as I pay the fee, I can sleep without being disturbed and not worry about theft?" "Of course." "How much?" Seeing Jiǎngrán inquire about the price, the young man thought she intended to pay and smiled. 1 point for 2 days, 3 points for a week, and 10 points for a month. Jiǎngrán stood up from the ground, and the young man quickly smiled and asked, "Which package are you interested in?" "I recommend the monthly package, it saves you a few points." "However," Jiǎngrán's voice turned cool as she said, "I have no money." The young man looked at Jiǎngrán in bewilderment, giving her a quick once-over. He saw the white wristband on her wrist and affirmed, "It's impossible. You can afford to rent such a good apartment, how could you not afford the safety fee?" He looked at Jiǎngrán seriously and said, "I know you're a tasker, and I know you're definitely skilled. You may look down on us regular folks, but let me tell you, this is the fee explicitly set by our safe zone. If you refuse to pay, we'll report you to the Street Safety Management Committee. Even if you're a tasker, don't expect any special treatment then." Others chimed in. "That's right. Taskers can't get special treatment. Why shouldn't you pay when everyone else does?" Seeing the crowd getting worked up, making it seem like she was the villain, Jiǎngrán surveyed her surroundings and asked a kindly-looking elderly person, "Is what they're saying true?" Not only did the elderly person nod, but the people around them also nodded. Someone advised, "Young lady, you should still pay the fee. Our community is indeed much safer than others. You've just moved here, so you should know the conditions in other areas. Male domination, bullying the weak, theft, and deception, those things are rampant. We chose this place because of its safety. Another family nearby said, we can't afford the apartments here, so we live in the basement. We pay 10 points for the safety fee and 5 points for the cleaning fee every month. Did you get in through connections? Our community isn't open just to those who can pay. That family nodded. The young man looked at Jiǎngrán. See, I wasn't lying. This is a regulated fee that every household has to pay. Jiǎngrán spread her hands, displeased, and looked at the few people who were criticizing her. What are you all doing with so much free time? Your value has already reached its limit by only talking nonsense about others. If that's the case, you might as well go back to school and learn something. Hearing from others that Jiǎngrán had just finished eating a bowl of cold noodles, the young man looked around her and indeed saw the empty noodle box on the ground. He was so envious. Rich people. To be able to afford such luxury food, with so many points, wouldn't it be better to exchange them for 20 pounds of grain? At this moment, the young man began to doubt whether the new tenant really didn't have any points or if she was pretending. After some thought, he said, if you don't have points, you can also exchange for items of equal value. Fine, what food is worth 10 points? Jiǎngrán rummaged through her backpack and found some milk, biscuits, candies, and chocolates. She had collected these along the way. Their taste might have changed a bit due to the heat, but they were still edible. That's a lot. Generally, a large piece of chocolate is worth 10 points, 10 pounds of white rice is 10 points, 7 pounds of white flour is 10 points, and 2 boxes of milk are also 10 points. The young man was counting, and Jiǎngrán took out 2 boxes of pure milk from her backpack and handed them to him, saying lightly, consider us even. Hey, okay. Seeing the 2 boxes of milk in his hands, the young man became extremely happy. Although the official exchange rates were similar, food was actually more valuable than points. Moreover, her backpack was bulging, suggesting she had a lot of supplies. She was quite rich, no wonder she was a tasker. Jiǎngrán's generous action led many present to start praising her. Some people must be embarrassed now. She's a tasker, how could she be lacking these supplies? She just happened to have no points, and they were accusing her of being stingy. Tsk tisk, I wonder if some people's faces hurt now.